Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Welcome to the WorryFree Retirement with your host, the author and creator of the WorryFree Retirement himself, Tony Walker.
Well, hello and welcome to the WorryFree Retirement. I am Tony Walker, and you're about to watch approximately 28 minutes worth of information that is geared towards helping savers worry less about money. We're glad to have you with us today, and as always, we like to share today's date because obviously things can happen on a pre-recorded program, especially dealing with financial information. I could be sitting here nonchalantly talking about the market. For all I know, since that time, they've flown into another building or something wacky. So it's December 30th, 2013. Last week we talked about resolutions and goals. I hope you enjoyed that information. And today we're going to put some teeth on that and show you some practical things for you as a saver can do as we move into 2014 in terms of resolutions and kind of the theme of the show today, which is knowing thyself. By the way, if you want to go to the website at TonyWalkerFinancial.com, we're always open to your questions. It's very easy to send us email questions, and we try to get those on the show from time to time. By the way, if I cannot get to a question on the show, I always email back, folks. So if you're watching this from any of our viewing areas, you'd simply go up to Contact Tony and click on that. And when you click on that icon, you'll see a little space there. You can fill that information out. Any question you have about retirement planning, especially if you're a saver, again, if I can't get it on the show, I will certainly get it back to you. As well, if you're outside the South Central Kentucky viewing area, of course, if you're in South Central Kentucky, I can handle your calls and meet with you in person if you'd like to review your situation at no cost or obligation. But if you're outside the viewing area of South Central Kentucky, I encourage you to go down and click on Find an Advisor in your area. And of course, we'll be happy to put you in touch with someone who is like-minded to myself, believes in safe money concepts, and loves working with savers such as you. Well, as always, I'd be amiss, of course, on the program if I didn't introduce to you America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander. Good morning, Aaron. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Tony. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Had Christmas is out of the way, and of course, as you know, we've got the grown kids, and as I said, the checkbook thing worked fine, but I was anxious to hear about your Christmas with the young one at home. So start off with the week of Christmas. How'd everything go?
Well, my young one, Preston, he had a great Christmas. He got all kinds of, he had all kinds of good gifts, but more importantly, he had good family time. We went to my aunt's and just, he saw his cousins. He's got two girl cousins that he refers to as his girls. Where are my girls? They're his girls.
Now that's funny now, but wait in about 16 years.
Yeah.
That's not going to be so funny when he starts throwing that information around.
But I guess I was on the naughty list this year. I don't know. We went to a church service on Christmas Eve night, and I walked outside, and I had a flat tire.
Oh, man.
And that's about the worst time to have a flat tire is on Christmas Eve. I mean, everybody was closed. Everybody was closed the day after. So, I threw the spare on there. And
did you put one of those the little tire things on?
No.
Did you have the little? No, you had a regular spare tire.
Yeah, I just had a regular
little tiny tire.
The little donutter thing. Yeah, yeah. Threw the spare on there and put it in the driveway, and had to wait till sometime on Thursday to get it fixed. Oh, man. But I was sitting there. I was like, man, I guess I'm on the naughty list. I don't know. Maybe I need to talk to you about that. How have I been doing?
Well, you've been doing good as far as what we're doing. I don't know outside of work, Eric. Hey, resolutions, all that good stuff last week. Did you like the show? I know I think it kind of stroked a few things with you in terms of goals and things like that. Any thoughts since last week's show about New Year's resolutions coming up?
I really enjoyed your talk about goals versus resolutions because it is easy to kind of get them mixed up. Currently right now I have a goal of, I think I'm ready to buy a house. I want to buy a house. We've been renting. I think I'm ready to buy a house. And going over that list, one of the things you brought up was that it takes patience. I can't go out tomorrow and say, hello, bank. Okay, I'm ready to buy a house. It's going to take patience. I'm going to need to do my research. I'm going to need to contact people. I'm going to need to look at what I can afford. All these things that require time. So I really enjoyed it.
And if you need any help with that, I'll try to find you a good financial advisor.
Okay. I'll keep you in mind.
Hey, I'm going to go over the board, going to cover some cool stuff today. If you would, tell them about all the stuff we've got, all the freebies we're going to give away here.
Yeah, we got a ton of them.
So you're ready to go, tell them all about everything, and I'm going to go over and get ready, Aaron.
All right, great, Tony. Well, first and foremost, folks, we want to just let everybody know that Tony's Facebook page is still going strong. We've still got all kinds of things on there. So what we want you to do is like Tony's Facebook page. And each week I'll be picking a new winner, okay? So we've got that on Facebook. If you go to YouTube and type in Tony Walker Financial, you'll come up on Tony's YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. We'll be putting videos on there if you've missed any episodes or anything like that. If you've got a question, maybe it's already been answered. Maybe it's on there. And then finally, we've still got Tony's 3 books absolutely free to the first 10 people that email him in each market. So what you want to do is you want to go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that top icon that says Contact Tony, fill out all the information, your name, your mailing address, everything, and make sure you put in there, I want the 3 free books, okay? And the 3 books you see right there, you're going to get them. Back to you, Tony.
Thank you, Aaron. You know, it's interesting. Last week we covered a lot of the differences between goals and resolutions, and hopefully that was of help to you. But, you know, you got to put legs on things. It's one thing to talk about in the financial world things you can do from a goals and resolution standpoint, but after you set those goals and resolutions, you got to think through, okay, what specifically can I do right now? In fact, the first book that I wrote, The WorryFree Retirement, dealt with this whole exercise of 2-minute walks in dealing with worries now, dealing with the biggest worry first and then attacking the little worries as they come along. So you have to have a plan of attack. You have to understand what you're going to be doing before you take off. And one of the things I've tried to do, especially over the last couple of years, is really hone in on this concept of knowing thyself. And what I did was I spent a lot of money and a lot of time researching. I have a background in psychology, but researching behavioral issues around financial personality. So I came up with this concept called the 3 personalities of money. There's a book that goes along with it. There's a website at 3personalities.com. So I'm going to tell you to do a couple of things right now that you can start your New Year's resolutions off by making sure you understand who you are before you invest in various products that I'm going to go over. So one of the things you can do right now, and it's absolutely free, you can go to 3personalities.com, the number 3, personalities.com, and you can take the free test. That's the first thing you can do, and it'll help you identify your predominant financial personality, whether you're a saver, speculator, or investor. Then the second thing you can do is while you're at the website, download the book, The 3 Personalities of Money, from Amazon. It's absolutely, it's about $3.95, I think. You can get the ebook, or if you'd like to contact our offices, you can order a hard copy from us, that's fine, but you can go to Amazon.com, start reading about this concept of the 3 personalities, and I think it's really going to help you figure out how your financial makeup is, and then also the products. So let's go to this little grid, and I've used this grid for years, but this little grid is very, very helpful as you think through various financial products. And what I've done up here is I've kind of divided it. We don't deal with speculators. We either look at investors or savers, of course, mainly savers in our practice, but let's kind of focus on this. We have investors whose financial personality is mainly focused on what we'd call growth. An investor is trying to grow assets. An investor realizes that there's risk involved in growing assets, but the reward for an investor is that they want to make more money, so they're willing to take more risk. Now you come over to here, which is the saver, which is who we normally focus on our program, is mainly concerned with safety of principal. Okay? Now again, this is very rudimentary. It's very conceptual. You can have a little bit of flavors of both, as we'll see here in just a second, but in general, most people have a predominant financial personality. You have the investor who's focused on more growth, who's willing to take more risk with the money, and then you have savers who are more concerned with principal protection. They want some growth, but they're more concerned with using, enjoying, and protecting that money. Now what I'm going to do, and we'll go into this more detail in the next segment, I'm going to show you the various products real quickly as we go across here. In the next segment, I'm going to jump into this in a lot more detail. But let's kind of move over here to the left. As we're thinking about growth assets, grab a black pen here. Over on the far left, we might put stocks, okay? And what we're going to see here on the far left, we have a little bit more risk, and as we move across, less risk. So we may have stocks here. A little less risk might be growth mutual funds. And a lot of times the reason they're a little less risky is because you've got things diversified, although we've seen that growth mutual funds can be just as risky, but we'll move those over just a tad. Then we might have over here variable annuities. Variable annuities have some guarantees built in, but again, variable annuities are somewhat risky. And then we might have what's called high yield bonds or long-term bonds. You could throw REITs and everything else in this. So we're going to focus on these when we come back and spend some time on the growth assets and this idea of risk versus reward, and then we'll get into this safer stuff in just a second. I'm Tony Walker. You stay tuned. I'll be right back for more details on growth versus safety. You're watching the Worry-Free Retirement. How would you like to find a trusted advisor in your area who practices and preaches the same safe money solutions that I speak of on this program? Well, you can by simply logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and clicking on the Find an Advisor link. Once there, just fill out the confidential profile and submit it. This free service is available to savers who are serious about safeguarding their money. So what are you waiting for? Stop worrying and log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. I want you to take a look at this quote, folks, and Aaron, you can chime in here if you like. Some of my best work is at 4 in the morning in boxer shorts drinking a cup of coffee. I thought of this the other day. Savers, the problem with savers sometimes is we get this confusion that savers don't like to spend money. See, I disagree with that. I think a saver should be thinking about how to use and enjoy the money. So I'm going to use the word spend here, but look at this quote, Aaron. I came up with this idea. I said, money that you have is meant to be spent. Money that you don't is not. Okay, this is the first time you've seen this quote, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, gaze at that a minute and see what you think. You know me pretty well in my mindset. What do you think that really means to you?
Well, the first part, money that you have is meant to be spent. I mean, you're right. I mean, what are we doing? What are we working for? Just to, you can't take it with you. That's the famous saying right there. You can't take it with you. You can't, stick it all in the coffin with you. It's not going up or down the elevator with you.
You're on top of that. Now let's go to the rest of it, though. What's that mean?
So money that you don't is not. So, it's probably not the smartest thing to just, take out loan after loan if you can't pay for it, or, grab credit card after credit card if you can't handle the interest or anything like that.
Okay. Now come back to me here, folks. All right. I want to show you this particular article. This article came out, and this is dealing with retirement. Look at the last portion of that. Money that you don't have is what we're talking about, but is spent. Okay, on the Elmo, this particular article, just leave it up there for a second. Let's see, this came out December 29th. It's an AP story dealing with retirement problems. Now look at the huge part of the bold part of this section here. It says, many of those facing a financial squeeze in retirement can look to themselves for part of the blame. They spent many years before the Great Recession borrowing and spending instead of setting money aside for old age. Thank you. See, to me, folks, this is the problem. Whether you're a saver, investor, or speculator, there is no substitute for saving boatloads of money while you can. But then, at some point in your life, you got to understand that this money that you saved is meant to be enjoyed. That's where most people don't have a balance. So that's what the Worry-Free Retirement is all about. Helping you save money, of course, if you're a saver, but also helping you savers out there learn to use and enjoy it. All right, hopefully that helps and helps understand the mindset of the Worry-Free Retirement, which is totally different from a lot of what's going on out in the financial world. All right, let's walk over here and take a look at this again. So when we left you, we had stocks, growth mutual funds, variable annuities, high yield bonds, and what we would say more long-term corporate bonds. All right, here's the way I like to describe this. If you come over to the far left, and again, this is not to scale, but what we're trying to do, the farther left we go in the growth area, we're trying to get higher returns, all right? And then if we come over to growth mutual funds, maybe not quite as high as individual stocks. You might have variable annuities, again, because of fees not quite as high, and then bonds not quite as high, but obviously we're trying to get the growth. Now let me use red for effect here. The problem with this is it's an inverse situation. You also could have a lot of loss in stocks. You could have loss in growth mutual funds, some loss with variable annuities, and bonds. Yes, bonds can go down in value. So let's kind of come over to safety now. What would be those assets as we slide over here to what savers like? Savers love fixed annuities. We'll put those here, okay? They're very guaranteed. Government bonds or very, very short-term bonds would go here. You might have CDs here, bank instruments, and then finally, just simply cash. And what I mean by cash, cash in the bank, money market accounts, savings accounts. Now, what's the problem with these assets? All right, fixed annuities can go up, but they're not going to go up a great deal. Government bonds can go up, but not a lot. CDs we know aren't paying much now. They used to pay a lot, but not going to go up. And then cash right now, if you got money sitting in a money market, you're probably not earning anything. But here's the big issue, all right? If we're looking at this, the key is you cannot lose any principal. So folks, if you look at these two graphs, and I'm just trying to break this down very simply, if you're sitting here watching this today and you're trying to understand more about yourself and whether you're a saver or investor, if you look over here to this side of the ledger and you start seeing all this red, which can happen, it will happen eventually, it always does on the growth side. But I always tell people the market goes up, the market goes down. That's the only thing I can tell you. The problem is we don't know when. As you see, if you read any of the papers right now, 50% of the apparent experts are saying the market will do great in 2014. The other 50% saying it's going to be a tough year. Who knows? That's the problem. So what we have here is this element of risk. So if you're looking at the right side and you see that there's no risk, here's the question. Here's the question for everybody to answer, and this will help you hone in with your retirement specialist, whoever you're working with. If we could accomplish all of your goals and keep your money on this side, all right, bear with me now, watch what I'm doing here. Keep your money on this side of the ledger, protect your principal, show you how to reduce costs, reduce taxes, reduce fees, and accomplish all your goals. Here's the question for all of us. Why would you ever put money over here? Now, for some people, they might say, well, Tony, because I want to try to get more growth. Or, Tony, I enjoy researching stocks. I don't have a problem with the risk. That's great. Then what you have to ask yourself, okay, fine. But let's be prudent here. If you're more of a saver personality, what you need to determine, and what someone like myself can help you to determine, is that's fine. What percent of your assets are you willing to risk? So what I do in my practice, when I'm working with somebody, or if you go to our website and you want to meet with one of our folks in the outlying areas, this is the mindset of a retirement specialist that works with savers. We always want to start with the assumption that a saver does not want to put money at risk. As we go through their goals and as we understand more about their financial personality and what they're trying to do, certainly we can always come over here. I'm a registered investment advisor. I can try to help people find some assets over here, but we have to understand that component that we are now introducing risk. So as we conclude with this segment, we're going to come back with annuities and talk about this concept of a fixed annuity and how you can have guaranteed mailbox money for life. This is another resolution you can set up as you move into 2014, is trying to figure out how much of my money do I want to put in guaranteed accounts and how much of my money do I want to continue to search for growth and possibly risk. I'm Tony Walker. You're watching the Worry-Free Retirement, and I'll be right back. You stay tuned. For nearly 30 years, I've made it my life's work to help savers worry less about money. And now I invite you to personally contact me to discuss your situation to see if I can help you. It's very easy. You just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and click on the Meet with Tony link. Or if you like, you can attend one of my free financial workshops. As always, there's never any cost or obligation to meet and discuss your situation in private. So what are you waiting for? Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Well, welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement, and we get viewer emails all the time. Here's an example of one that I received recently. Tony, my husband, and I are small business owners with simple IRAs. Is it a right choice to contribute large amounts just so we don't have to pay taxes on that this year? He is 60 and I'm 48. Now, this is a great question, and as we approach year end, a lot of people I know are frustrated with the amount of taxes you're paying. Certainly simple IRAs for business owners and IRAs, and many of you have 401ks. The temptation is to launch as much money into those contracts as you can to try to reduce taxes, and that's certainly a viable option. All I can say is, first of all, I would want to be tax diversified. Many of the people I run into, and I've done this almost 30 years now, are not tax diversified. And what I mean by that is they've put so much money into these pre-tax plans like 401ks and simple IRAs that when they hit retirement, they don't have a game plan to deal with the tax tumor. So before I would launch into these plans full force and put all of my money, I would make sure I would meet with a retirement specialist such as myself, look at the entire picture, make sure you understand your goals, make sure you're going to understand when you're going to need access to that money, and also make sure you have a game plan for dealing with the taxes. I'm going to put one more time up there our website, so if you're in the South Central Kentucky viewing area, you'd like to talk with me personally at no cost or obligation, maybe you have a 401k or IRA and you just want to take a look at it. Maybe you're like a lot of people I'm meeting right now, you've had some nice gains in the stock market, you're getting very nervous about it, and you want to lock in some of those gains and set up a guaranteed mailbox money account like we're going to show you. All you do is go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. You click on the Contact Tony. I'll contact you directly if you're in South Central Kentucky. If you're outside that viewing area, all you got to do is go to Find an Advisor in your area, and we will have someone contact you again at no cost or obligation. All right, very good. We're talking about annuities again. As you know, I'm a big fan of what's called fixed annuities. Remember, that was on the saver side of things. And I want to talk to you about something called the income rider. We've touched on this before. I'm a big believer in income riders, but I'm also seeing a lot of advisors who are, quite frankly, not accurately portraying what an income rider is. So if you're thinking about a fixed annuity, fixed indexed annuity, income riders are attached to variable annuities. Again, for savers, we don't recommend variable annuities, but let me just show you generally how these work. And next week on the show, I'm going to go over in much more detail. And then what I'm going to do next week is show you how the annuities work in what we call an income plan. So some very good stuff coming up next week. But let me give you the basis on annuity with the income rider. In this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an annuity that we might put $100,000 in. And this annuity is going to have what's called an income rider. Now, whenever you see rider attached to any kind of insurance contract, which in annuity is an insurance contract, think of something that's added to it. I like to use the analogy of power windows added to a car. You know, years ago, you didn't have to get power windows on a car. You could have used the old hand cranks, but if you wanted the power windows, you had to pay more. So anytime you see income rider added to an annuity, this is where your mailbox money is going to come from, but that income rider does come with a fee. And it's very important to understand how that fee is calculated and how it's charged. We represent a lot of different insurance companies, and believe me, they charge these fees differently. So how does this work? There's two values you're going to track with an annuity. The contract value, we'll assume it's an indexed annuity, is going to be linked to the stock market, okay? But the beauty is there's no risk. That's what a fixed annuity, whenever you hear the word fixed, that means that the principal is guaranteed, and even though the stock market might go down, you cannot lose any of your principal. When you see the word variable, that means you are literally in the stock market and can lose principal. Now, this is growing, we don't know. This could be anywhere from 0 to 15%. I've seen it all over the board. The income rider, we have them as high as 7% right now. So let's imagine, and that 7% is guaranteed. So the income account, let's just say the market crashed this year, so we still have 100,000 here because it didn't grow, but we might have, in this example, if it's a 7% income rider, we're going to have a guaranteed $107,000. So now, Aaron, I know you keep up with finances a little bit. You know, CD rates are 1-2%, fixed annuity rates are 3% max. How do you think they can guarantee 7%? What's going on there? That's a toughie, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
He has the same look on his face, folks. You can't see it. But when he walked out and saw that flat tire, he's like, I don't know. There's a flat here. The thing is, with an annuity, you have to understand, this fixed rate is guaranteed. But this account value over here, this income account value, what I like to say, it's used to calculate what I call your mailbox money. All right? So this is very important to understand. The mailbox money is that guaranteed income that you can never outlive. That's why annuities are so popular. People are so worried about outliving their money because people are living longer. Nothing else does this but an annuity. Now the problem though is I'm running into people out there who are in the trenches selling these products, and they're selling the 7%, and they're not helping people understand that that 7% is predicated on you drawing the money out. Remember, we talk about OPM a lot, other people's money. The insurance company isn't giving this stuff away. They know that they can guarantee these higher rates because you're in turn going to take it out over your lifetime, which gives them time to make up the difference. Also, when you die, the income rider is not passed on in most cases to your family. They're going to get what's left in the contract side. So folks, these annuities are very, very important instruments, very, very important instruments. And if you're a saver, you're going to want to find out more about them. To get more information on fixed annuities or how fixed annuities can help you, just simply go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. If you're outside the viewing area of South Central Kentucky, you can still log onto the website. We'll put you in touch with people who are trained in these products that can help make a decision for you as to whether these products can help you or not. Well, I'm Tony Walker. You're watching the Worry-Free Retirement, and when I come back, I've got about 30 seconds to make sure you understand that free book offer for the Worry-Free Retirement. You stay tuned. We'll be right back. How would you like to find a trusted advisor in your area who practices and preaches the same safe money solutions that I speak of on this program? Well, you can by simply logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and clicking on the Find an Advisor link. Once there, just fill out the confidential profile and submit it. This free service is available to savers who are serious about safeguarding their money. So what are you waiting for? Stop worrying and log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. I'm Tony Walker, and I hope you've enjoyed watching another episode dedicated to helping savers worry less about money. Real quickly, let's show you how you can get those free three books that I've written over the years: the Worry-Free Retirement, Don't Follow the Herd, and the Three Personalities of Money. You just go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on the Contact Tony link. When you click on that, please give us your name, your mailing address, and phone number, and we'll be happy to get you all three books absolutely free. That's a $49 value, so you can begin to worry less about money and start enjoying it. Well, I'm Tony Walker. I hope you have a good day, and until we see you next week, we'll talk about more about mailbox money for life and how to set up an income plan that you can enjoy. Make it a good day.
You've been watching the Worry-Free Retirement with financial advisor Tony Walker. To ask Tony a question or to find an advisor in your area, log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com.